Okay, I know you must have gotten a new MacBook Pro, or probably your resolution is trying something new. Now in this video I'm going to be telling you guys about Logic Pro X, and this is the software that I've been using for quite some time, switching from Cubase, from FLstudio and other softwares. I can see that a lot of you guys have been asking me questions about, yo, how do we use Logic Pro and how can we just get a hang on this software and do amazing stuff like record ourselves from home. Yep, this video is for you. So if you are new, make sure you subscribe and turn on post notification, because I'm going to be dropping awesome videos for beginners and professionals alike. When you open your Logic Pro X, you're going to see this tab, which is going to allow you create something new, an empty project. And there's also a side here called live loops. But this video is centered around how you can record yourself like a professional. Okay, now you click on this empty project, you'll see 4 options here. We have the MIDI, the pattern, the drummer, and the audio. Now basically MIDI is for some of you that would like to record like your keyboard or instruments. You can see here there are 2 options here, software instruments and external MIDI. And you can also see under the pattern there are software instruments and like external MIDI. These are for instruments, but since our focus is on the vocal and how you can record yourself, we will not click any of this. You can see here there are audio inputs and there are audio outputs. Now for starters, when you look at your interface, you can see here you have the outputs, which is for the speakers, and here you have the inputs, which is for your microphone and all the instruments you plug into the sound card. This is a Focusrite 2i2, and I've been using this for quite some time. For some of you that would like to get this, you can check out a Studio Gadget store to see what you can get, because it's quite expensive now. It keeps growing every year due to inflation. Now, so the output is like for the speakers and for the monitors and stuff, and then the input is for your microphone and other stuff. You can see I'm using a Shure MV7, so it's written here the device is Shure MV7. The previous versions of Logic don't have this feature. And then for the output, which is my headset, it's connected to the Shure MV7, so it's going to show here. If you have any other device connected, it's going to show. Then you just let it be and you click on create. Now once you are inside of Logic Pro, the first thing you should take note of is this top side, which is like where you check for the BPM, the key, and like the count. You can also click on this part to see what's happening inside of Logic Pro. But if you are still new to the software and you've never used it before, I will advise you click on this little help button here. This is the inspector. Now what this does is anything you touch, you get a little explanation here. Like look, if I touch on this loop, it's going to tell you loop, checkbox, repeat, playback, yada yada. It's going to tell you everything about anything I touch here. Here you can see this is the counting button. Once you touch here, it's going to show you this is the metronome, click button, and every other feature in Logic Pro. So if you're just starting, the first thing you should also know is, apart from the metronome and this top side, there's also this playlist section, which is the workspace here, because in FLstudio we call it playlist. So if you are switching from FL or Cubase or any other software like Ableton, this is called the workspace. And this is where all your recording, your sounds, your arrangements, your MIDI, every sequence is going to be arranged. Now, in this part of Logic Pro, this is called the track header area. This is where you add tracks. And what tracks basically mean is how many layers of vocal are you putting in place for like the arrangement of the song. Now here we have a default, which is the audio one. If you want to add another audio to this, we can click on this little plus sign, and to ask us this same question, and we click on create. Since we are on audio, click on create, and you see we have double audio layers here. Now for some of you seeing this little meter here, this is called the volume fader, and this controls the volume of each channel. So let's say this is my backup. I can rename it backup, and this is my lead. I can name this one lead. This is how it's going to be. I can control the volume of each of the sections here. But before we go deep into this part, there's another part that I always tell people to check. You can see here at the top, there's a Logic Pro written here. You can check the settings and you can check general. Now under general, you can set your startup action, your default templates, and other minor tweaks, but I don't touch these ones because it might get confusing and complicated. So I usually touch the audio. Now you can see under the output device, I had to choose Shure MV7, which is this one, and under the input I had to put this one. But if you have some other devices connected, like a Scarlett Focusrite and maybe an iLoud or something else, you can easily just come here, click, and you'll see all the options to choose which one you are taking. Now under the buffer size, I usually leave it at 128, but if you go into more professional tutorials, you can see they just, some of them choose based on what they are making, and for me, I leave it at 128, and I don't touch any of this. If you're a beginner, you don't need to get things over complicated. Now under recording, you can see these are the default settings. I don't touch them, I don't tweak them, but if you watch other tutorials, you might see options of what to do with them. But for now, just leave it the way it is. There are also MIDI settings for your keyboard, and then there are score settings in case you are making movies. You can see here there's a movie section because the owners of Logic Pro also have Final Cut. So if you are a movie score artist or somebody that wants to make synchronization sounds, you can easily come here and choose this option. Now, before I get you confused and like oversaturated with info, let's come to this part of Logic Pro. Now, this is called the setting button. This is where you set all the stuff that has to do with this part of your recording, but we are not going to be touching anything here. I'm just going to be telling you what each of them do. Then I'll drag a beat and record something so we can go through this step by step. Now, after the setting, you can see here there's a little bar here for adding your gain reduction or your compressor, which I usually don't add it from here. I'm going to show you how to add it easily. So let's close this one. I can touch here, no plugin, and then there's an EQ side here, which EQ is equalizer, basically for cutting the lows, the highs, and other things, which I'm going to be showing you guys in the mixing tutorial. But since this is not a mixing tutorial, let me just close this one. And then this is the audio effects. Audio effects is where you add all the effects to the voice. If you are recording a song and you want to mix and master, yeah, these are all the effects that come with Logic Pro. But over time, you can upgrade and install new stuff, new plugins, new VSTs. There's what we call VSTs, which is like virtual instruments, and there's what we call mixing plugins, which you can see here. I do have quite some, and then sometimes I just use the stock ones, which I'll be showing you in other videos. Then here we have the send, which this is for more detailed and elaborate reasons. But for now, what send does is like some kind of a, if I say a side chain, is going to be complicated for you, but basically what send does is it helps you route the signal to an aux channel strip, which means you can easily process a sub mix or multiple track outputs at once. Now that might sound a little bit complicated, but once we go into the mixing tutorials, you're going to see so many other things about this. Now we have the stereo out, which once you click and hold, let's say you choose a channel strip, and then you can come here and choose where the destination is going to be. But this is probably going to be so complicated for a beginner. I will advise you don't touch this part and you don't touch this part, and you just focus on learning the audio effects and how to record, which is basically what you need, except you probably want to go into the engineering side of things. But this video is supposed to be simple and easy for you to replicate. Now let me teach you guys how to pull out some of the things here. You see, at this top side, we have the counting button, which is like a metronome. Pam, pam, pam. Now, what metronome does basically is it allows you see the timing of everything. So I'm going to be dragging a beat to show you guys an example of what this actually means. Okay, so all right, so this is a beat in 108. And you can see I easily just dragged it here, but it's not supposed to be on the lead vocal, so I might take it out and come here, drag it and drop here in an open channel. All right, you see now it automatically just created a new channel for me for the beats. All right, so all I can do is just take it upwards, because everything here is flexible. You can rearrange it anytime. It's actually very, very flexible. So we can call this the beat, we can rename it to beat or whatever, but for now, I'm going to leave it as the name that I got the beat. Now, for MP3, there's something you should also worry about. The tempo of this beat is 108, so we can easily just take it to 108. We can click it too, and type 108 if we want to do that. Then to find the key in which we are going to record this, we can go to TuneBat. TuneBat is a website that I use basically to find the key of whatever I want to record. So once we find the beat, let me find the beat. Okay, we can drag it and drop here. Now it's in A minor. You can see the BPM 108. We can come back to Logic Pro and A minor. Can come here and choose A minor. Was that A minor? Yeah, A minor. Okay, so now we have the key, but there's something also you need to worry about. Whenever you import an MP3 file, there's always a beginning part here, so we can trim it and bring it close. But if it is wave does not have that issue. Now let me show you what this counter does and what the metronome does. So our tempo is correct. If we change the tempo to like 130, you are going to hear the sound is going to change. So it's different. Okay, so we are going to take it back by pressing Command Z to go back. Command Z is to go back to the previous stuff you are doing. So to record, all we need to do is come to like the lead. Since we've created the lead channel, we click on this little R, which is the enable. You can see here, this is like it's same thing here. This is the record button. You can click on R on your keyboard. Oh no, yeah. Oh, now you can see it recorded straight to my channel, which is amazing because I can just easily make a song straightforward. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, now we can move forward and also continue recording. So let me record something to show you guys what it looks like to just lay something in Logic Pro. Give me money, 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 money. I know vision. Okay, that doesn't sound good. So I can press Command Z and do it again. Bounce along. Give me money, make I spend am. Give me something, make I chop am. Oh, nah, chop am. Bounce along. Tell me the vibe, that I don't follow. I didn't change my soul now. I never judge my no car. All right, so we have a vocal here. We can easily just play it back and hear what we made. Now, if you notice, the volume is a little bit low. It's not sounding loud from here to. It's sounding a little bit down. That's where we now have, you see on this channel, we can easily just add effects here from the audio effects. Now, this is not a mixing tutorial, but I'm going to be showing you guys some of the basic things you can do for a start so that we can just be on the same page and grow together. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to be giving you guys the updated versions of this. I can't put everything in one video. So let me play the audio so you can hear how it sounds. Give me money, make I spend am. Give me something, make I chop am. Okay, now with this recorded, I can easily just come to my effects section and find a compressor, which basically what a compressor does is it actually lets the voice not pass a certain threshold or a ratio. So once we click on this inbuilt compressor, this is a follow-com plugin that comes with Logic Pro. You'll see that there will be a certain difference automatically. Give me money, make I spend. Yeah, it's a little bit louder. Give me something, make I chop. So some other artists that don't know what compressors do or don't have any option of what to do, the easiest thing you can do is reduce the volume of the beat from this volume fader. Take it down a little and you can see. So for starters, all I can do is increase the makeup a little. Then I reduce the threshold by, let's say, 2 decibels. By the way, dB means decibels and it's like the volume measurement constant. Yeah, this is a little bit louder. Then you can add your auto-tune, which a lot of you guys kick against, but auto-tune is a part of this process. So there's what we call the pitch correction side. You can just click on the pitch correction and boom. If you have the newest Logic Pro or any old Logic, it's still the same thing. So the key for this is A minor. We can come here to the root notes and choose A. You can come here and find minor. Okay, then we can play around with the response. Take this down a little, play around with the tolerance, and let's see. Give me something, make a chop. Okay, this is too much, so I can reduce the response and reduce this. Give me something, make a chop. Alright, so let's come back to the pitch correct and turn off this natural pitch detection and come here and take this to low. This might help. I do this a lot, so I'm just telling you guys one of my secret tips. Give me something, make a chop. Alright, so I just said a bunch of gibberish, so don't mind my lyrics. So we can now come below here. You can see there's a reverb side. What reverb does is it gives it like some kind of room, like space. It makes it sound like it's in the hall. So we can add a little bit of reverb. I like this silver verb. It comes with Logic Pro. So this is a little bit tricky. I might have to play with the room size and then just come here. The dry is like the raw vocal, and then the wetness is the amount of reverb. So I can just play with the amount of reverb. Alright, now there's another part of Logic Pro I want to show you guys. There's this part called the region inspector. You can see here under the region inspector, once you click on any of these vocals, it's going to show you the info for this one, and then you can increase the gain. So sometimes if I can't hear what the recording is, when I started, I usually increase the gain a little, but I don't increase it in a way it's now blasts, but now you hear the difference. Bounce along. Give me money, make a spend. Give me something, make a chop. So I'm going to play with the intensity and reduce the high chords and reduce the low chords, and the pre-delay, maybe I can just take it to like 10 and reduce the reflection to like 15. The size, increase the size. Bounce along. Give me money, make a spend. Give me something. So basically now what's happening is I already have this all recorded straightforward without doing too much. For some of you that are just starting off, the second channel can be a backup channel where you can just record something like this. Bounce along. Bounce. Give me money, make a spend. Bounce. Give me something, make a chop. So let's hear it. Give me money, make a spend. Give me something. So to duplicate this, I can just click on this one and click on Command D. Okay, Command D. So I've duplicated it. I can hold this and take it upwards. So hear how it sounds. Bounce along, bounce. Give me money, make a spend. Give me something, make a chop. Now once you have the backup and everything seems a little bit good, now don't mind me again. This is like a sample. This is a prototype of what could be done. You can easily add more channels by duplicating them, but don't forget to label them. So this is the backup. We name it backup. And then if we have another one called ad-lib, we can do ad-lib. And we can also just freestyle. If we have 10 backups, you can easily just clone them by holding Command D. Now, if you're looking at this, it might look a little bit complicated, but once you know the basic of songwriting, you can see that everything is already arranged in the beat. If you downloaded a beat from YouTube, from TikTok, from anywhere, you can easily just use this as a formula to record your covers, your songs, your anything at all. But this mixing template is probably not going to be the type that you might like to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a special template for this purpose, and I'm going to give you guys so you can just attempt to use it and create something amazing for yourself. If you know you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notification. But until then, just keep trying, keep exploring, and keep playing around with Logic Pro. This is just the basic of how you can go about it. But so many other things await you in the front. Just make sure you keep making music. The more you touch it, the easier it gets for you. So in case you are wondering what it looks like when you finally record and you have everything arranged, this is an example of what it will look like. So you're going to have all your backups, you're going to have all your leads and your beats and your chopping and everything. And then here you can see there's a mixer board where every effect you added is going to be shown. So because of copyright, I might not be able to play what I recorded, but let me just show you what it sounds like. Baby, I'm a cow. Now waiting I carry for my head. No propaganda. So this is something that I recorded with my friend Labar, and you can see the backups here. After doing that same formula I showed you guys, you can see the backups. So you can see here we still have more backups. Now, for some of you guys that will be confused about why this sounds full, why everything is happening, it's probably because we have like some attention to details being paid to this. So if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping more extensive videos about this. But I just want to show you guys that are just starting out what's the potential of Logic Pro. You can see here I've used up over 25 to 30 tracks, and I don't think you've probably tried this, and this is like one of the smallest so far. I've recorded some with 50, 60 tracks. All I do is duplicate, add my effects, tweak it, and my ultimate style of production is something that I would really like to teach you guys subsequently. But for now, this is what it looks like. You can see here I have my intro, I have my verse, and I do have my chorus, which is like the hook, and I have my chorus again with a short verse, which is 2 verses, a chorus, and an outro. So yeah, this is what it looks like. The beat, the voice, and everything. So if you know you really have something you want to learn about Logic Pro, all you need to do is spend more time rehearsing, recording, and doing what needs to be done in order to just figure out how this thing works. It's not further mathematics. It's not as complicated as you think. Just give it some time, dedication, and give it sheer focus, and you are definitely going to be a professional in no time. But for now, make sure you do what you can, and also stick around, because I'm going to be dropping more gems. And your boy Hitsound, and until next time, keep making amazing music. Let's get it.